Eddie Hearn. He's going to join us now. He's out in Vegas as Conor Benn and Johnny Fisher. They're both in action this Saturday night. He can tell us more about that. As I say, a warm welcome to the chairman of Matchroom Sport, Eddie Hearn, joins us. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
Hello, Eddie.
Is that the future US pool champion?
Well, Eddie, it's funny you say
Someone
it because
jinx it.
your dad's in the same competition, so I'm slightly honoured you've put me above him.
He's out. He's got his new cue. He's practicing. Oh, I mean.
I spoke to your dad last week and I said, when are we going to have it? And we've got a practice session coming up soon. Where would your money be? 1 to 10. Where would your money be, Ed?
Definitely you, mate. Okay. Definitely you.
It's good.
I'm not sure if back's going to even allow him to pot anything, but
I look forward to that. Listen, thank you for coming on. I know you're out in Vegas at the moment. Where are you staying, by the way? I've been out in Vegas a few times. Where are you staying?
We're at the Cosmopolitan. That's where the show is this week.
Oh, yes. Zuma. Bit of Zuma in there, Eddie.
Zuma, Carbone.
Lovely.
Very nice indeed. Listen, let's talk about Conor Benn. It's an interesting one. He recently did an interview with Good Morning Britain where he said he wants to continue to prove his innocence. Where are we at with that, Eddie? What's the latest on that?
So obviously he's had those 2 hearings, one with the WBC that he was successful in and won, cleared his name. Then he had the the hearing with UKAD, the British Boxing Board of Control, which he won, and then they lifted his suspension. And then the British Boxing Board of Control decided to appeal. Obviously, that was back in, I think, August or September. We now have finally an appeal date of February, I think in a couple of weeks' time. And hopefully, as we're being told, that'll be the end of the situation. He'll win that appeal and move forward. And, it's frustrating. Conor Benn can fight anywhere in the world right now, but just not in Britain under the British Boxing Board of Control. So he's here in Vegas, which is a blessing because any UK fighter that gets to headline in Las Vegas is a dream come true for them. It's a bit unique because we're doing it at 2:30 p.m. local time, so we can be prime time for UK 10:30 p.m. on DAZN. But a massive opportunity for him. But listen, we want him to fight in the UK because when you look at the big fights right now that are migrating, particularly to the Middle East, we have an opportunity with Conor Benn to make stadium fights with the likes of Kell Brook and particularly Chris Eubank and Liam Smith. And he's going to be flying that flag for a long time, and hopefully it can all get resolved in February and we can return to normal after, it's been nearly 2 years this has been going. It's unbelievable. So, but he's focused on headlining out here on Saturday.
I follow him on his social media, Eddie, and he's a hard trainer, isn't he? And I watch his clips of him training. He's at it. How confident is he, and how important is it for him to be at it on Saturday and really put in a performance?
Honestly, he's one of the most sort of volatile, almost violent fighters I've ever come across. Even when he's hitting pads, even when he's doing his technical work, there's so much ferocity in his punches. Listen, he is Nigel Benn's son, and they are so alike in so many different ways. And even when I saw him when I arrived in Vegas, he's just ready to fight at all times. And he's got an undefeated New Yorker on Saturday. He's very tough, but if Conor's talking about Crawford and Ennis and all these elite guys, he's got to do a job on Dobson on Saturday, and I think he's going to set about him, and I think it's going to be really violent. And let's be honest, every Conor Benn fight is thrilling to watch. That's just the way he fights. Like I said, he fights like his father, but he puts the work in. He really does put the work in, and he's ready to explode on Saturday night.
I suppose you can't really talk about Conor Benn without asking the question about Chris Eubank Jr. Where is that fight now? Is it dead, or is there still an opportunity honestly, somewhere down the line?
It's like, I like Chris Eubank Jr., but he's the one person you cannot have a sensible conversation with. There is a fight there. I mean, forget just what the fight looks like now. The history of the fight, the families, the feud, it's the biggest rivalry in British boxing. It's going to pay Chris Eubank Jr. 2, probably 3 times more than any fight that's even out there for him to consider. He's fighting a guy that's 2 divisions lighter than him. Yet still, you can't have the conversation to say, come on, let's be sensible here. Let's make the biggest fight in British boxing right now. So we continue. Callis Howland, who represents him, I'm sure he's frustrated as well. And we're not hanging out or hanging around for Chris Eubank Jr. If Conor comes through Saturday night, his next fight in April or May will be a mega fight. If that's against Eubank, fantastic. If not, there's plenty of other options, and we've got to make sure he's in it.
Okay, before we move on, just a yes or no. Do you think that fight will ever happen?
Yes.
Okay. I need to talk to you about cruiserweight Jai Opetaia. He's been sparring with Tyson Fury ahead of his fight with Usyk. It's been rumoured that Opetaia has dropped Fury twice in sparring. Right now, I know that Opetaia's camp have denied this, but you know everything in the world of boxing, Eddie. Everything, right? So what do you know about this?
I saw the piece yesterday with Johnny Nelson and Spencer Oliver. I mean, firstly, I think you guys are banned from pretty much everywhere, you know, in boxing right now, other than with me. I'm always here for you, don't worry. But, you know, Johnny Nelson was adamant that Fury had been dropped in sparring by Jai Opetaia. Jai Opetaia is with Matchroom. He's a cruiserweight. He's a tremendous fighter. As far as I'm concerned, it's absolute rubbish. I mean, Jai Opetaia flew in. He did 5 rounds with Tyson Fury. I mean, he will set about him as he always does, but as I understand it, there was nobody got hurt or dropped in the spar. And after that, Jai went back because it was all southpaws in the training camp, and he's fighting Maris Bradis, who's an orthodox fighter. So, no, I think it's absolute rubbish. Sparring stories are sparring stories. I don't know many people that close to Fury. We work closely with Spencer Brown from Gold Star, and as I understand it, Fury's having a great camp. I think he's taking it very seriously. I expect a much better Tyson Fury in this fight against Usyk. Usyk looks razor focused and sharp, you know, and it's a 50-50 fight. I'm really hoping, you know, despite our differences in the past, that Tyson Fury can win that fight. Obviously, he's a British fighter. And if AJ can do a job on Ngannou, you got it there on the plate, you know, probably the biggest fight of all time. So I think the Opetaia Fury rumours are just what they say, rumours. The boxing rumours are definitely on another level, and I think it's complete rubbish.
Eddie, how's AJ feeling towards this fight with Ngannou? Because I think we were all shocked, wasn't we, with how well Ngannou done. Some people say he probably won the fight against Tyson Fury. How is AJ looking at this fight? Because it's not going to be an easy one, is it?
No, it's not. I mean, it's a bit of a no-win situation, but now the win is there because His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh has said if, you know, the winner of that fight should fight the winner of Fury Usyk. So in AJ's mind, he's one fight away from challenging for the undisputed heavyweight world championship. This is AJ's 4th fight in 11 months, which, you know, he hasn't done that since, you know, for probably 8 or 9 years. And it's exciting. You know, I saw the size of Ngannou at the presser. He's an immovable object. Like, he makes AJ look like a middleweight, and he's going to be extremely tough. He's going to be hard to break down. But I still stand by the fact that I don't believe that a boxing novice can come in and just beat these top-level guys. I mean, you're right. I thought he could have nicked the fight against Tyson Fury, dropped him. But I just think AJ just box smart, break him down, you know, keep knocking power down, and you're going to take him out. And, you know, but it is a fight with a lot of jeopardy. If you stand in a pocket, if you trade, if you get hit by a shot by Francis Ngannou, you're going to be in trouble. So it's definitely one you've got to be really switched on for.
Eddie, I've got 60 seconds left with you, so if you can answer the next question in 30, that would be mega. Just finally, Buatsi takes on Dan Azeez. It's live on talkSPORT this Saturday. How do you see that one going?
It's a good fight. You know, Buatsi at one point a few years ago looked like he could be a real contender in the division. He's had no momentum, and I don't know if he's still got the desire or where his confidence is at, but, you know, it's a really good British title fight, and we need those fights, you know, those good little solid domestic nights. I think that'll be on around 10 o'clock, and then you can switch straight over and watch the Beast go to work live on the Las Vegas Strip.
Beautifully said. Eddie, thanks for coming on.
Cheers, Eddie.
Last question. We can see you on YouTube. Right. Have you got a filter on? You look quite handsome. Is that natural?
No filter. Just to let you know, I would never put a filter on a Zoom, firstly.
Yeah.
And secondly, just add a shave, basically. So it's amazing what he can do.
You look lovely. Thank you for coming on, Eddie. Good luck at the weekend. Thanks, man. There you go to wonderful Eddie Hearn. Interesting what we were saying there about Jai Opetaia. Load of rubbish that he didn't knock him down.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It is. It's so good.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.